Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a makeup tutorial on the look I'm wearing right now, which is just a really nice everyday look. But what's special about this is that I used all drugstore products, and I think this would be a great back to school makeup tutorial. It's nice and simple and I don't know, pretty easy, and I feel like it's appropriate for school. One thing I do want to add in this video is I do kind of go through quite the rigmarole to get this look together, just because I'm used to basically really glamming myself up every day just because I love makeup so much. So feel free to leave out any steps that you don't want to do or have time to do. So this look will be kind of personalized for you. Just kind of stop whenever. If you're more of a foundation and mascara girl, just do that. But if you want to do some fun eyeshadow and maybe some fun bronzer, some blush, some highlight, then this video is definitely for you as well. So if you want to see how to get this look, then keep on watching. So to start off this look, I'm going to be priming my face, and today I'm going to be using the Nivea Men Sensitive Post Shave Balm. And massages all over my face. Now this makes a good primer because it's sticky, and it'll help your foundation stick to your primer, which will help it make it stick to your face. So you're going to let that dry just for a second, just until it starts getting tacky. And then for foundation today, I'm going to be using my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, and I have the shade 110 Porcelain. Just start dabbing it onto my face. Alright, and once you have that blended, let's go in with concealer. Today for concealer, I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Come Correct Celebrity Concealer in the shade Fair. What I'll do is I'll warm it up on the back of my hand, because it is it's a very thick concealer, but it covers very, very well. So if you're getting up early, going to school, don't want to look like you're dead, then this is a good product for you. Once again, blending that in with my beauty blender. Next, we're going to set our face and our under eye area, and I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. I have the shade Translucent Extra Coverage. So what I'm going to do is I just take it and I dump some of the powder into the cap, just like that. For my under eye area, I will take my beauty blender, still wet, and then just tap the powder underneath my eyes. Alright, and once your under eye area feels smooth, let's move on to our face. Using my Real Techniques blush brush for this. Next, let's move on to bronzer. Today I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. And I'm just picking this up on a very unknown brush. I have no idea what brush this is, but any brush that's kind of fluffy and not very dense will do perfect for bronzer. So I'm going to use this on the sides of my forehead. And also just above where you would contour. And this step is completely optional, but I do prefer to do it. So I'm taking the same powder and a Morphe E13 brush, and I'm just going to lightly contour the sides of my nose. Next, let's move on to blush. Today I'm going to be using my E.L.F. blush palette, and this is the shade Light. It has 4 beautiful blush colors, but my absolute favorite would have to be this one right here in the right hand corner. And I'm going to use a Morphe E51 brush, just a nice, really loosely packed, bristled brush. For a nice everyday look, I like using these tan shades of blush because I feel like it looks a lot more natural than a nice, like a big pink or a bright red. It just looks really natural, and especially in the summer it looks very sun-kissed. Next, for my favorite part, we're going to highlight. Today I'm going to be using the Physicians Formula Warm Nudes palette. And since I'm very fair-skinned, I'm going to focus it more on this right side of the palette here. If you have medium to darker skin, maybe focus on the middle, and then if you're dark-skinned, maybe focus on the left-hand side. So I'm just going to take my Real Technique setting brush and just kind of swirl it in these top 6 shades here, tap off the excess, and then go in to the tops of my cheekbones. This is such a pretty highlight, seriously. Same thing. And you can swirl through the entire palette. You can pick up a single shade, or you can just swirl a couple colors together to get your perfect highlighting shade. So I'm just putting that on the tops of my cheekbones. I'm going to take it down the bridge of my nose, just to give that a nice highlighted look. And then also with my finger, I'm just going to pick up one of the colors and tap that right on the top of my nose, just to add a nice highlight. And then lastly, my Cupid's bow. So for my eyebrows today, I'm going to be using my Pixie Brow Powder Trio. I'm using this with an Anastasia No. 12 brush. So first I'm going to brush through my brows with a spoolie. And then taking the other side of the brush into the darker brown color of this trio, I'm going to start by lining the underside of my brow and going all the way to where my arch would be. And then I start flicking the powder upwards at the front of my eyebrow. And then I start to build the arch. Going up, and then dramatically I go down. So you get that nice arch eyebrow look. Then I take it down until where my brow hairs naturally stop. And throughout this process, I will comb through my eyebrows to blend the powder in a little bit more so it doesn't look so stark. And I repeat the exact same process on my other brow. Then I like to comb some of the hairs in the front upwards. And I know this may seem kind of weird to do because we're so like trained to comb them back, but I think combing them up in the front kind of gives you more of a youthful effect, and I think it looks really nice, so I do that. And the difference I feel like with brows and without brows is so stark that I don't know how I ever used to leave the house without brows. I'm going to be using an eyeshadow primer to prime my eye look, and today I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer onto my finger. Just brushing this with my finger onto my eyelid. And obviously repeat the process on the other side. Since I'm keeping this look all drugstore products today, I had to decide if I wanted to do a bunch of single eyeshadows from the drugstore, little palettes, or if I wanted to just use one big palette. And I thought that since in the mornings we're usually really busy and pretty rushed to get to school, so who has time? First of all, who has time to do all of this? But if you love makeup as much as I do, you make time for it. But also, who has time to be shuffling through your makeup trying to find a bunch of different colors when you really could just reach for one palette? So I decided to choose just one palette for this entire eye look. And the one I decided to choose is the Milani Everyday Eyes Earthy Elements palette. I chose this palette because it has really great neutrals, which I feel like are really popular for everyday wear. Not everyone wants to, you know, run outside wearing a purple smoky eye, so I figured this would be the best to use maybe every day for school. So I'm going to show you how to get an eye look with this palette. So first I'm going to set my eyes using just the powder that I used to set my face, which was the Coty Airspun powder. I set my eyes after I use a primer because if you don't set your eyes, the eyeshadow that you put on top of it will skip because it's sticky. Your eyelid is sticky, so it will not blend as smoothly as you want it to. Now to start the eyes with the palette. First things first, I'm going to be taking the shade right here, the second one to the left, on a Sephora Pro Blending 27 brush, tapping off the excess, and just starting to add this to the crease. Now, as I've said in previous videos, I spend a lot of time blending out my eye looks because I feel like that is the key to a nice eye look, whether it's a smoky eye or an everyday eye, is making sure everything's nice and blended together or blended out. So that's what I like focusing on a lot. And I'm repeating the process on my other eye. Alright, once you feel that first shade is blended out, let's move on to the next shade. I'm going to take the shade that's right next to it, the very middle shade, and I'm going to take this just kind of in the exact same place that I put the other color. It's just going to give the look a very warm appearance. Alright, so another thing I like about this palette is that it gives you several choices for a main lid shade, or the shade that you want really to stand out throughout all of them. So they give you this nice white sparkly shade, a darker brown sparkly shade, and then these two right here. So today I think I'm going to use this one for my lid shade because you can really build it up to make it very opaque, or you can tone it down to make it just a subtle wash of color. To build the color, I'm going to be using this little tiny Wet n Wild brush, and I'm just going to dip into the shade, tap off the excess, and then just start packing the shade on. You can use a brush for this or your finger. If you are going to use a brush, I would recommend using a synthetic haired brush. Once you're pleased with that look, I'm going to go back in with the more orangey color, take that, and then just blend out the look completely. This is going to give it a really nice and finished look. Alright, now let's go to the bottom lash line. I'm going to use my little Sonia Kashuk pencil brush, and taking the first shade that we started with, the light brown, and just going underneath my eyes. Finish off the eyeshadow look I should say, I'm going to take this sparkly shade right here on the far left on a Morphe E39 brush, and I'm going to put this on the inner corner of my eye, and this is going to highlight the inner corner and really open up your eyes and make you just look more, I don't know, glam. Same powder and the same brush to highlight my brow bone. For my liquid liner, I'm going to be using the L'Oreal, the Super Slim Liquid Liner, and this is in the shade Black. And how I do my liner is I like starting where my lid starts going down. Are you waiting for me to make a weird face? Alright, then once you have your liner done, it's time to curl your lashes. I'm going to be using my Revlon eyelash curler. For mascara today, I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black Mascara. That mirror's not cutting it, that's too far away. One of my biggest tips that I like giving a lot of people is to use a setting spray. There are a lot of really good high-end setting sprays. I haven't really found one that I have loved from the drugstore, honestly. But the one I'm currently using is the Maybelline Master Fix Wear Boosting Setting Spray. What setting spray does is it basically soaks up all the excess powder on your face so that you don't look so cakey, and that is a lot of people's problem, I think, is maybe overdoing it with a powder, or, I mean, powder obviously looks like a powder. It's a powder. So I think it's a really good idea to just set your face. So I'm just going to spray a couple sprays of this on my face. Don't be afraid to go over the top. To complete this look, we're going to add just a little bit of lip gloss, just a nice nude lip that I think is perfect just for everyday wear. The one I'm going to use today is the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Creme Brulee. Alright, and as far as taking your hair out of your headband, I'm good at makeup, but I cannot do hair to save my life. So there probably will never be any hair tutorials on my channel. So I'd probably just leave my hair like this and go to school. I mean, I'm in college, so everyone kind of looks like a slob, but at least your makeup will look good. So I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. And leave a comment requesting a video and I will try and do it for you guys. So thank you for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!